If you watch the Spanish version of Money Heist labeled the original, then none of the story will feel unfamiliar. However, K-drama has a skill for bettering a story with high creation esteem and extreme content. So, I'm fascinated to check whether they can finish off this series with a remake. Let us look at the first season and episode 1. Hi and welcome to Mystery Captain. Korea start with stunning news. South and North Korea have figured out how to consent to reunify with typical money and not anymore bad luck. It is 2025 and many individuals escape from Pyongyang, Pyongyang and go to Seoul. Sorry for the pronunciation of the cities. Large number of these people are energized with a train carriage loaded up with trust as everybody accept they are moving to the superior life. Tokyo was portraying the unification of two Koreas by making a joint economic area. Tokyo was released from the North Korean armed force, so she sought after her fantasy in JEA, accepting it would give her a superior life. There's a feel of trust as Tokyo head to the new region. Tokyo promptly ends up smack bang in the center of the entrepreneurial Korea, with her relocation official lying about the convenience she has. She fills in as a server, hopefully surviving while hustling among the South Korea's shows itself in flights in the city towards the North Korea. Tokyo feels unfulfilled in its new life and surprisingly more terrible. She finds predatory lenders exploiting weak young ladies accordingly. Tokyo is no more abnormal to this kind of antagonism, however, given she served in the military and in the end kills them all. It as of now, she understands handlooms are the one who bring in the most measure of the cash and chooses to get herself a cut of the activity. With the open safe, she decides to take the cash for herself, settling up and executing to introduction for the story to follow. Then at that point after 1 year, Tokyo watches a news report on a Bulgari where one of the lawbreaker was killed. The police was searching for her. The media followed the expanded wrongdoing because of unlawful migrants welcoming by a JEA, calculated towards North Koreans and individuals. Having lost her accomplished and with no place else to go, Tokyo regards herself as alone outside. Shakingly has scalded blood from her hands. Tokyo holds her firearms with her hand as she remains in the downpour, pondering, committing suicide. However, at that point, Professor appears with an umbrella and inquires as to whether she is alright. This is her most memorable experience with it. The professor educated Tokyo concerning a huge scope is arranging and maintains that she should be important for it. He accepts this haste will make them legends. Tokyo heads his turns and we reference that they will take 4 trillion won. The professor drives as a gathering with his haste group. He believes that they should talk nonchalantly and have empathies, assuming you know about this first series. These empathies that are named after various cities and countries. Every individual from the aged group brings as interesting arrangement of abilities. The professor let them know they will pull off the greatest heist ever. However, without harming or killing anybody. He needs open help. The professor then uncovers the area the unified Korea meant in the JEA. The series then moved five months after the fact. At the unified Korea meet, it seems to be common day for the banker. The bad habit of the chief Cho Yong-min is having an unsanctioned romance with Yoon Min-sun. Yoon tells the bad habit chief they cannot proceed with their sentiments and suggests that she is pregnant. Cho calls her a golden retriever and they contend with another. In the meantime, a gathering of understudies shows up to visit the banks as a components of a review trip. While the ACE group designs their most memorable day at the foundation, they close off the security vehicles with span blockades, take down the radios, and abduct the security men. Two individuals from the Ace group then at that point get into the security grabs. Gradually the Ace group assumes control over the bank, sending bank partners and individuals from the general society with Prince. The unified Korean Mint entryway was shut and stage 1 of the proposal arrangement is set up. Berlin makes sense for the prisoner that he is in control as he disrupts the guidelines. Cho Young-min lets him know that headquarters is calling. They will be powdering where they are. So Berlin requests that Yo answer the call and be all around as quiet as could be expected. Cho has made himself at obvious objections by getting on some unacceptable side of Berlin. In the storm cellar, Moscow opened up the safe and tracked down every one of the apes of the cache. Presently, a piece of these plans includes a deliberately being gotten by police. They mean to hang tight for the police withdrawing back inside and establishing the second period of this arrangement. The professor arranged the group to open the front entryway and open fire on the police yet needs to. Nobody kills and hurt. He stated it is essential for the arrangement to work. Notwithstanding, Rio wind up short and he raised some ruckus around town. Notwithstanding, Rio is okay when they get him back inside. With the police mindful of the circumstances at the bank, the two Koreans structure at the team group of taken on the issues. They are stressed over with this is resembled on a global scale. Then introduction to Zion Wojin. She is partaking in a free day with her girl. However, at that point, she called about the mint. She stalls out in the quickly with the team group as a moderator. She is spunky specialist and is ready to guard herself against her boss who utters North Korea. Inside the bank, Berlin lets the prisoner know that they are caught yet guaranteed that they will get out securely as is given a similar jumpsuit the Heist group is wearing. Sion settles on her most memorable telephone decision to the professor and presents herself as an arbitrator. She inquires as he too whether he can deliver a couple of prisoners as it won't hurt his activity. He tells us he will thinking about it. Sion is interested in the professor and considered what his game is. But at that point, Sion sees the furnished police group heading into the bank since they are accepting a heist as just a group of four individuals in the light of data from the professor. Sion cautioned that it is very well maybe a snare, yet her boss requests that she leave the tent. Sion is to a bar for a beverage, however in the early contract. Professor work is behind it, so he serves her. She likewise know him, they are companions. The professor is shocked, however, having sorted out somewhat yearly exactly who will be placed responsible for this thing. They were very much aware of Ujin association, particularly since the teacher is dating her. They likewise allowed him to find a full military strike would be approaching, bringing up 5 distinct areas they would breaking in from. The professor detects that the North Korean side of the team at present has the advantage. As the police group gets inside, a YouTube video is in real time where the prisoners ask the undertaking group of arrangement because they are wearing the same similar garments and dread their well-being. It then they breaks in the team group that one of the prisoners in the video is envying Nightingale. So the outfitted police group withdraws. Sion is gotten back to the team. Similarly to what the professor anticipated, he then at that point called Berlin and inquired as to whether he might want to begin the following piece of arrangement. The flashback shows the professor telling the Heist group they intend to print the cash. Every one of the notes will be untraceable. Episode 1 is complete. We will see you in the episode 2. Episode 2 of Money Heist started with a flashback to the past. A lot of turn goes given there all to attempt to escape from the damnation that is the North Korea. Unfortunately, the kid is beaten to ridiculous smash. His mom is shot attempting to cross the waterway. Quick forward 25 years and that kid grows up to become Berlin, the dauntless pioneer inside a North Korean jail that figures out how to sort out and overthrow and defeat the gatekeeper inside. This flashback functions admirably to get the feelings of exactly that the way charming Berlin is and how risky he is well. Let us look at the first season and episode 2. Hi and welcome to History Captain. Back in the mint, the prisoners are ported into the gathering, compelled to digging a passage in shift. There were clear waves for the pledge in the position. However, epitomized by the mint director posing such a large number of inquiries. This is the sort of things barely know about as well. String is yet up to the gallery, you unreasonably innocent professor. Presently, among the prison is a young lady considered as Annie Kim, who is the US ambassador girl. This unavoidably brings the entire situation into definitely most investigation than previously. Eugene figures out how to quiet the press until further notice and encourage the authorities on his team to fill in collectively. Eugene reveals that this strike isn't being finished for political reason and addresses the professor once more, affirming so a lot. This time she redirects her doubting and gets individuals getting some information about sex and climaxes to construction relationship with her. Eugene jeers yet understands the professor is a talented mediator of this world. The expression time is money most certainly comes to their center here. The trump cards are obviously prisoners. Nairobi looks after those printing cash while Moscow watches the mint director make a ash of penetrating their break course. Discussing escaping when one of the prisoners winds up arming his and the mint director making use of an attempt to leave. He makes a beeline for his office, expecting to move a smartwatch. He cancelling in the cabinet the last episode he come by the Berlin and the others. Presently, Yongin arranged is to get the watch and speak with the police, something he enlightened Mizun concerning later in the episode. We're going to budge on setting his contention before things turn monstrous. Back in the fundamental chamber, Billy moves every one of the prisoners around so that South Koreans are on the one side and North Koreans on the other side. He chooses to turn them against each other. If the North Korean is off the mark, the South Korean will be refurbished as well as the others way around. This is all the professor arrangement utilizes the notorious divide and rule plan. This is the kind of thing North Koreans are very much aware as well. Given spices are dispatched to town pre-unification to ensure nobody tears down Kim Yoo-jong or his system. With the prisoners quelled until further notice, Eugene puts together traffic outside. She switches off the all gadgets, concluding they ought to convey through radio all things considered. She presumed that is the professor will committed as error shortly. All all things considered, it show up soon. Eugene figures out how to track down their watch and attempt to speak with the police. Simultaneously, Rio is yelled up with the gunpoint by Annie, who figures out how to follow him through a kiss too in the washroom. In any case, Annie's arrangement goes amiss when she learns with sickening apprehension that the firearm is intact. Rio recovers control. The professor is worried that everything isn't around, given how quiet the police are. The special case Aries, obviously the main director and that attempts smartwatch, the utilize this is the attempt to speak with the police and they get the ping on this area of the females. Attempting to figure out more, the professor meets Eugene for lunch not long before they eat. She gets a call about the watch smartwatch with the professor snoop on. He attempts to turn on the consideration across their relationship in Eugene calls she impulse for tuning in. However, Eugene leaves guarded she not pretending for this. In a non-appearance, the professor speaks with the Berlin inside, educating him regarding the smartwatch. Given his set experience inside the jail camps, Berlin is completely ready for the managing disputes and promptly get down on the wind director. Yao Min is the sharp, however, and figures out how to set up a sign of the police who introduce a backdoor on the smartwatch. This permits Ujin and the others to tune in all that is occurring inside the mint. That is until Berlin finds Museum sneaking there under her jumpsuits and obliterated seats. Berlin rescues Museum once again from the gathering and requests she be executed. That way it shows different prisoners things are too. Around 50% of the looters are against this, trusting it's going too far. Denver specifically trusted in ethically off base, even though Berlin gives up a firearm and requests he deals with Museum. Alone in the restroom, Denver shouts at her to come clean about her pregnancy. Destroys steaming her face, Denver pulls the trigger and flames. Yet did he fire at Museum. Down in the primary chamber, Berlin embraced Yahmin and let him know he realized the bin director is one of the answerable for the smartwatch. Episode 2 is complete and we will see you in episode 3. Episode 3 of Money Heist. Corinne changes everything around and permits us to investigate Moscow's set of experience. We got an external restorative officer from the professor. Moscow is holding nothing back on the activity except from one condition. Denver's go along with them. Let us look at the first season and episode 3. Hi and welcome to Mr. Recap. Presently, Moscow and Denver have been tied since their day on the run together in South Korea. He vows to making his dad loads of cash come what may. Quick forward to the present and Tokia blasts into the restroom and where she tracks down Mizun dead on the floor. Toki is especially content with the result here, while Berlin is casual about the entire undertaking. Simply sit back and relax, you will become accustomed to it, he says. Not long before the Berlin leaves, he requests that Denver take care of the body. Berlin activities cause swells among the group as they remain clashes about whether this is the right reason for the activity or not. At the point when Tokyo is going to the storm cellar, she sees Mizun alive, however injured. It turns out Denver shot her in the leg and she pulled on the act of being dead to keep away from any doubt. Tokyo cautioned Denver that assuming Berlin finds out is could create difficult issues. Presently, a piece of the professor arrangement includes the prisoners getting a phone passage out from the underneath the structure. It turns out the genuine one is being penetrated by Denver in different region, meaning to lose the police. Discussing prisoners, a gathering of them, their differences and turn on the main director. They bring up how narrow-minded he is, promising to make him pay off all the activities assume one more prisoner is in danger. Outside the mint, the police escalated their hunt, doing a few exploration and investigation CCTV films from the area. This combined with a couple of picture caught from the now obligated smartwatch permit them to get a lead. It's Rio. While Tokyo established her overthrow inside the mint, the professor endeavored to speak with Ujin, asserting that Mina, a little girl, is in a difficult situation. At that point, when the professor blasted into the task force tent to tell her this was the arrangement for the professor himself, besides the fact that he sought out the North Korean commander is control of, he additionally seen the record against Rio as well. At that point, when the professor gets back, he figure out how to speak with Berlin inside and find out Mizun being shot dead. However, inside about Rio's faces being spilled in uncovered as well. With the entire gathering spreading crazy, things are heightening when Moscow discovers that Denver should Mizun. Moscow is stunned at their child activities and astronaut state going out the principal entrance. At the point when the entryway opened, he plans to give himself over calmly and decrease his tensions. Denver follows him into handling to the floor and addressing exactly things he doing. Denver considered he didn't kill Mission. Berlin understands the police could sort out this out and order his own arrangement to lose the police. Berlin gets a small bunch of prisoners to utilize heading outside with the weapon rounds, in any case when directed in among those in participation. Young Min turns on them all, however, getting ready to fire. Obviously, given they are all in veins and indistinguishable outfit, Tokyo concludes that how to surrender and make it seem to the main director they attacked them. It appears to work as well. The Wujin gives the go ahead for them fire to Yongmin. Episode 3 is complete and we'll see you in episode 4. Today we see episode 4 of Money Heist. Professor showing the gathering how to treat gunfire wounds. Rio is one of the individual who is in that frame of mind to play specialist and yet back down. Let us look at the first season and episode 4. Hi and welcome to Mr. Recap. Rio as we see acquiring his abundance from his folks and carried on with an unfulfilled life, becoming neglecting to charm ladies. The professor and Tokyo track him down after he abandons them. The professor persuades him to return. The short and the blood scattered we return to the present with all of the gatherings scrambled back inside the mint. With the mint narrator draining out and to Tokyo and memorable others their preparation and attempt to bring him back. After, we just speak with the professor and consult to get a clinical workforce to ensure the director doesn't pause on. Ujin is under a ton of stress over here and outside. She addressed the Captain Shaw. All things considered, Shaw concludes he go into the mint himself as one of the surgeons to take a look at the spot. Denver, Moscow and Tokyo head down to the storm cell and beware of Mizun who additionally not doing too well by the same token. While the director plans for the medical procedure, Berlin permits him to conserve with the better off on the telephone. Denver is participating and World is and out of the fluctuation when he hears the person over the amount he allowed is better off. Simultaneously, Captain Shaw is fixed with extraordinary glasses that permit him to see everything inside the mint. He gets ready to head in with different surgeons in the meantime, 4 officials in the bed. Sadly, Shaw is gotten out by Berlin during the medical procedure, given his inflation and he is not shaking like different specialists. Shaw chooses to go off script, concluding that he is a cop here to mind the doctors and ensure they are not at. The professor is noted and sees Shaw's glasses could be a price of information here. You understand, this is every one of their major redirection and Rio that men are breaking into some place inside. With the medical procedure complete, the doctor head to the fundamental chamber and notice everybody has changed their covers. Shaw is stunned and everybody scrambled to cut short and bluff activity going for it. This is the Shaw telephone, which they figure out how to mess with and hack into. The professor can hear all that the police are discussing now, ensuring he out in the front of the game. Discussing with Berlin's go to the storm cell and acknowledging mission is yet live. A major deadlock result between the two gathering with Nairobi appearing and reversing the situation. She additionally, as North Yongmin gave Denver something that dropped out of the lost option pocket during the medical procedure episode. With Muzin going into shock, Rio chosen to perform the medical procedure, eliminating the short wedge in that time. He is the one of the particular who doesn't shake while doing this for reason unknown. He went to the drug school. Rio addresses Tokyo with certainty after eliminating the shot. He has the enormous designs to purchase a wonderful island and leave this is everywhere. He welcomes Tokyo along and tells her that he is done going to carry on like youngster any longer. Tokyo acts shy and loose. With Mizun alive and developing nearer to 10 mothers, the others have barely restricted and chosen to remove from the gathering, letting him restricted to sit and be appreciated while enduring. In any case, there's a further curve in the story to come. It's time one of the troopers figure out how to remain inside the mill. This person has broken into the positions of the prisoner, sending a code message to those outside in the process. Episode 4 is complete and we will see you in episode 5. This episode begins with our center moving this opportunity to Inspector Uchin. She facing a conflict on two fronts, the first including the mint and the other with their own life. King Simon is running for the presidency, which set him the exceptional strong position while attempting to acquire care of his kids. He additionally turns the story to correspondence that Woojin lied in court. If that wasn't sufficient, her mom is wiped out and need assistance. She's gone downhill now. And Woojin has needed to bear all of this battling to hold the heaviness of the world on his shoulders. Today we see the first season and episode 5. Hi and welcome to Mr. Recap. Return to the mint, Captain Chow discovered that Pak Chawla has sent a coded message affirming that he is inside. Indeed, Chow bosses accepted the Wujin is Spindler, needed him to stay quiet about this from her and pushing forward with Chawla completing this activity rapidly. With the highest point coming up, the specialist can't simply remove Wujin or stand up or to couldn't think twice about the entire activity. It in recent turns to the story, something that procedure with string of the North and South Korea aggregation with regard to the change. In the meantime, prisoner enjoy and cheer as Mission is carried once more into the gathering and free from any potential harm. Nairobi chooses to take some more unique attached is time considered with Berlin. She warns up them all she would rather not hurt anybody and plans to fabricate a helpful connection with them all. They wake up resting of couple of hours. They mean to begin work once more. With Tokyo now the pioneers, our beloved mint director watches this and attempts to track down the benefit. Outside the mint, pressures are yet intense among Eugene and Chow. The last option to accept this association agreed with the assassinations. It likewise not helps that she wouldn't raise Hanny while speaking with the professor. The chief is irritated now over Eugene makes sense of her activities, directed out that they need watch out. They have proactively had two plans of flop up now. It exercises in the fulfillabilities to make it the third. Ujin sought out that the professor is outside the mint, not inside, given he told her he is having a sandwich for lunch. She likewise thinks that he closes by watching them, although they can't forsake everything. Ujin enters a small bunch of officials to find the professor and his vehicle. Inside the mint, our official tracks down Musin and gets some information about the professor. She considers she knows about him, yet doesn't know much else other than that. Xiaomin appears, however, kicking and shouting, guaranteed that Mizun is undermining him. In any case, when he is in the end kick the entryway in. Chaulo considered he is a cop and concealing is one of the slows down, sidestepping a LCG who makes an appearance to take a look at what's going on. Chaulo arrangement had to kill the professor and afterwards start one more activity to get everybody out when things turn. To figure out what Professor identity is, Yang concluded that ought to bring the Denver in and beat him into accommodation. Mission is entirely certain is smart, given he saved her life. In any case, Denver come back to the tricks. The kindness of a note given to him to meet an extra space. While there, he is taken out to Chawlo and Yangmin. Together, they request to know where the professor is. Yet he will not make a move. All things being equal, the main director pursues that Tokyo calling the shout and in control. Simultaneously, Ujin and others us to scrapyard to find the professor vehicle, which could we have a DNA on top of it. Professor arrives first as police alarms sound somewhere far off the professor camping down the shore, find the vehicle and promptly driving into the state. In the meantime, Rio take off to keep an eye on Berlin, who gags out and leaves him, figuring out how to break liberated from his ties simultaneously. Vision finds the Daniel being tormented by Yongmin and promptly takes out the director. The press gamble to find Tokyo, who's coordinately traffic with the other prisoners. Every one of the prisoners to be moved to the fundamental chamber. They are additionally going to the quiet printing cache for now. Tokyo take off all alone. However, Chawla is hunting her. Not long before he fires on Tokyo, Denver blasts into the room, shouting that they have some unacceptable person. A short sound and he slides outside. A Chow gets a call from Chawlo. He comes clean with his boss. The professor is outside and the mint is going quiet, as though he been shot. Episode 5 is completed. We will see you in episode 6. Episode 6 opens with a flashback where the professor was a genuine teacher. He was a specialist on the reunification model of North and South Korea. He guaranteed it would make harmony and it would be a fantasy. His thoughts were transferred into the real world. He meets Soo Yujin at the economic zone. Jun maintains that the professor should make a monetary reunification plan with North Korea craving to open their entryway. Let us look at the first season and episode 6. Hi and welcome to Mr. Recap. In the present day, Professor is on a rapid speed heading out of the Cyanogen and the police in the vehicle vigorously association with being essential for the East group. He winds up off the street and setting the vehicle ablaze with leaving in a waterway. Cyanogen is the staggered that they figure out how to move away and she informed that the individual in the vehicle heading out was probably going to the professor. The bank's secret cop is pointing is the firearm at Tokyo. Denver cautioned her that she is going to stroll into a snare. The cop is shot, yet he figured out how to communicate into to say that the professor isn't inside the mint. Berlin then at that point shoot the officials on numerous association and lets Tokyo know that group need him. Shienojin rings the professor and gets some information about the shot. She lets him know this mayhem outside the mint. The professor claims that got exhausted and worked on shooting. Shienojin needs to go inside the mint and look at every one of the prisoners to check whether they are protected. Off the chance he doesn't acknowledge, she won't give the food guarantee. The professor feels he must choose between limited options. However, Shion likes need a live video feed when industry can display to the news source from the public industry. The age group realizes that they are in a corner, yet the professor need to show the world and the prisoner are fine. He advises them to the ready for the prisoner check. With the prisoner check coming, Berlin uncovers his character to different prisoners and how he probably going to got on first since the notable criminal. Once more, Chomin plots and flash they out to sneak in notes in the police about the dead police officer. If he gets Anna came out to get it done because they want her dead due to being the minister girl. Thus, a notice passed to Anakim as a component of the arrangement, and afterward, Sion strolled into the bank. Berlin uncovered his face to the media and acquainted himself with a mediator, and a solid disturbance outside as a broadcast on the enormous screen. The professor is in the group outside as well. The Sion needs to take a look at every prisoner. Sion interviews Jo Yomin first, and she is sorry for the firearm. He gives a close to home supplications to his loved ones. At that point, when Hanakim is evaluated, she examines, pausing on the note. She cries and her family watches his life and they are upset. Shienujin convinces her and as Anakim is going to ignore the note, Tokyo gets the occasion, snatches her vest and she accompanies the away. Anakim claims she came up with this thought at first. Shienujin switches the camera off and requests the Berlin carry every one of the prisoners to front of save time. She affirms that all prisoners are protected. However, she expresses that a safety officer is missing, and she truly discussing the cop Agent Borg who Berlin shot. She asks the prisoner where Agent Borg is. Anakim and Cho Yomin attempt to tell her that he was killed, but the aged group ashes them. Berlin lashes out and let Sion know that they acted justified with the specialist. Sion quarrels over the subsequent stages and it turns antagonist. And Ujin accepts that people in general are presently on the police side because of the supposed diminutions of the cop. However, at that point, Berlin acquires another prisoner, it's Agent Park. He isn't dead. The man had a tactile armor carried on. Berlin realized he did when he shot in the chest. This was the Professor Pro in the sleeve. And afterward, the professor sent a video of Agent Park arranging an assault through the mint. Berlin asks Ujin that might have occurred if Agent Borg has arrived at the prisoner and raises the risk they were in. Berlin then tells the public they won't allow anybody to buy the rest. Enogen leaves the mint, bewildered and befuddled. The East group commend the triumph over the police and afterward more uplifting news. Moscow confirmed finishing the digging the getaway course. Nairobi additionally affirms that almost spent all the caches. There's a great deal of trust among the crew. During the night, Denver keeps an eye on Mizun to change her dressing. She asks why he is checking so late after night time. Denver apologizes to her and advises Mizun to date a nice man pushing ahead. Mizun then at that point makes sense that she will stop the mint and afterward she kisses Denver. And she kisses her back energetically, which prompts to hot sex in the pallet. She and Eugene get back to the tent and learns they won't supplant her since there is nobody to supplant her. Them know she will stop except Shaw leaves the team. She then at that point addresses Shaw thereafter and he tells her not to go. At that point, Shaw is doubted at the professor since he entered the tent once when he came to tell her that her mom had called. Eugene paralyzed at his allegation, the professor hears this and he looks concerned. Afterwards, Sion Eugene meets the professor for drinking. She as of now smashed and she quickly played with Sion Eugene fails to remember reality for some time and partakes in the organization of the professor. Coming back, the professor inquires as to whether she can stop the cases. He tells her that he can see she is depleted. Sion Eugene embraces him and values the amount he wants to think about it. The professor is shocked. He even said that since he wanted her in the team. At the time, Sion Eugene finds the money note in her pocket that was given to her by Anakim. This will mean a lot to the cases. Unexpectedly, Sion Eugene has a lights again and leaves the professor for the evening. At that point, my professor heads back and shocked. Shaw is sitting right back for him. Episode 6 is completed and we will see you in episode 7. This series was released in 6 episodes only. After 7th episode is released, we will see this series. Let's decide. This is the part 1. We will see you in the part 2 of this series. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear me from again, be sure that you like and subscribe button before you go. Thank you.